Now to prepare our meringue based on potato protein and using the French method, we need the water, the potato protein and xanthan gum, which we'll have to hydrate. Some whisking by hand for a few seconds, and then I will start whisking on my stand mixer with a loosened whisk for about 2-3 minutes. Now the water is chilled at about 2-3 degrees Celsius. If your water at the tap has pH more like neutral, it's fine. If not, just get some pre-bottled water with a pH of around 7 and chill it to 2-3 degrees Celsius. Use the potato protein. Make sure it's potato protein for whipping, not other sort of potato protein. And add the xanthan gum, just a tip of a knife, and whisk for about 2-3 minutes. You have the foam created quite nicely, still soft. So I'm going to fit the whisk properly and then go for high speed now for about 5 minutes. Now, while the meringue is getting to the right stage so that we can start incorporating the caster sugar, we can prepare the dry ingredients. Now, if you've got a pre-made tant pour tant, that's great. But if not, you will have to make your own, either by grinding some nuts or seeds or using some almond meal, whatever, and mix it with icing sugar, usually 50-50. Tant pour tant, in fact, is a mix of ingredients in the same ratio, same proportion. So we get those nicely mixed and sifted, ready for the next stage. Now, after the 5 minutes, when our foam is well formed, it does have a good body, but it's still soft because there is no sugar. We'll start adding the sugar, the caster sugar. We'll continue to whisk at a high speed for further 5 minutes. You just stop in between and just gather all that sugar from the sides and carry on to complete the 5 minutes whisking. At this stage, I'm going to add the color, just a tiny touch of color. I don't want a vibrant color on my macarons, but I do want a little bit of color to resemble the sunflower. So I'm going to put the tip of a knife of some deco relief color. Just going to carry on whisking with high speed to incorporate the color. I prefer the powder colors, but you can add gel or liquid to the meringue. And at this point, when I can see that the meringue is well formed, actually it just filled up my whisk because it's so firm, I'm going to transfer the meringue into my large bowl. Trying to get everything away from the whisk. And just transfer the meringue. And I'm going to start adding the dry ingredients. And incorporate, scraping the sides of the bowl and then just folding in. Scraping the bottom of the bowl. And adding one more round. Again, scraping the sides, the bottom, so that all the dry powders get nicely incorporated. And the last bag. Now the dry ingredients are incorporated. Haven't actually started the macaronage. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pop a little bit of this mix into my piping bag, but just a little bit, pretty much like, you know, what I get onto my spatula. And I'm going to add some orange powder and going to mix this quickly in here. All I want is to coat my bag with this orangey shade of color. Okay, and then obviously just spreading the mixture and then twisting the end because I don't want the end to be wide open. So when I put my mixture to start floating on the side. Okay, and then I will carry on with my macaronage. Flattening my mixture on the walls of the bowl. And then just grabbing the mixture onto the center, towards the center. I want that kind of a lava look consistency, but the way how I'm going to check is by lifting the mixture on the silicone spatula and leave it to drop on back on the bowl and see if the ribbon breaks. If it doesn't break and it flows continuously, that means it's done, which is actually what happens right here. It's a continuous flow, which means I'm at the right stage. So I just have to put my mixture into the bag. Just using this jug as a support for my bag. Now, if you feel that your wrist is a bit weak and you cannot cope with piping large quantities in one go, nothing wrong in putting the mixture into loads. Just going to scrape everything. Away. Okay. And now my bag is ready for piping. And so is my baking trays and my Teflon paper. So I'm going to start piping some circles. I'm going to use a 3 centimeters template, which I'm going to pop underneath my Teflon sheet to set the template in the right place. Going to twist the end of the piping bag, keeping the piping bag upright. All I want is to create some dome shapes without a peak. So I keep my bag perpendicular, squeeze to get the right size. And to stop the flowing, all I have to do is to do like a little swirl. So squeeze, stop, swirl. Squeeze, stop, swirl. That really helps me to keep the size of the macarons under control. And this contrast between my yellow and orange, it just gives a really nice decorating effect. At any point, if you need to stop the piping process, you can lift up the, keep the end of the bag secure, just lift up the nozzle, and obviously the mixture will stop running. So carry on with doing the rest. Using a template is quite beneficial because it just puts your mind to rest. You don't have to think about where you should pipe, literally just follow the template. Get one corner of the mat and just tap, and then go to the next one, tap, go to the next one and tap, go to the next one and tap. Now, to remove any potential air bubbles, I can get a toothpick and I can just look around and see if there are any air bubbles, and if there are, I can just poke them out. Piped shells have to dry to get safe to touch before baking. The process can take anywhere between 20 to 60 minutes. The length of the time depends on the ventilation, humidity, and temperature of the room. If your room is well ventilated and dry and warm, then shells obviously will intend to dry fairly quick. A small fan blowing gently from distance will help speed up the drying process. But do avoid placing the fan too close, because that's going to cause an uneven dryness of the shells, and that's going to obviously cause cracks during the baking. Now, while the macarons are drying, it's time to fire up the oven. We'll have to put the oven to preheat at 140 degrees Celsius or 280 Fahrenheit. And we have to make sure that we do have an accurate way to measure the temperature. The ovens are well known that can be quite finicky. So an accurate thermometer will help a lot.